Today is 1st of August 2024, and tomorrow is going to be 2nd of August 2024, which is NFP. And I'm going to be analyzing GBPusd to possibly show you the outcome of GBPusd via NFP. But I want you to bear in mind that I don't trade news, and whatever I analyze on this chart, I'm not going to take it. But if you're going to take it and you make profit, good for you. If you take it and you make loss, good for you. But what I want to basically do is analyze GBPusd and show you what's going to likely be the outcome of NFP. And if it comes out, I want you to come back to the channel and check what happened. Before going to that, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Divine, and what I basically do on this channel is document how I trade and as well show you the mindset behind my strategy. If you want to see content like this, I want you to smash the subscribe button. I'll be right back.
Now, for us to look at GBPusd, we want to first understand what price is doing on the higher time frame, and we want to understand where price is heading to, and as well identify the key levels for us on the daily time frame. So I'm going to switch to daily time frame and possibly see what price is doing there and know how we're going to challenge the market, right? First thing I want to do is to understand where price is heading to. That is direction of the market. Is it going to the upside or is it going to the downside? And I want to simply use my trend line to understand how price is moving and be able to take decisions in the market. For instance, if you look here closely, you will see that price is in an uptrend. Why? Because price is simply respecting support zone. At every point of support, price goes to the upside. Now, for every support, there's likely going to be a resistance. So where is the resistance in this particular pair? For us to identify the resistance, we're going to still do the same thing we did for the support. And we can clearly see at this point is the resistance. So basically, we have seen the support and we have seen the resistance, right? Let's say we want to do nice to understand where the key levels are. Where is the key levels in the market? Remember what key levels are. Key levels are simply points where you want to pay attention to on the 4 hours time frame, right? For us to identify the key levels, we simply want to first of all identify that this point here, this point is the key level, right? This is the first key level, and this is this resistance key level. Let me remove these two. Remove this other one too, so we'll not be having confusion. Remember, we've identified the key level, and I'm saying to you that this point is the support key level, and here is the resistance key level. Our focus now is to understand what price is from this point up to this point, and be able to identify the demand zones and most likely supply zones in these key levels. And we want to do that on the 4 hours time frame. Now, on the 4 hours time frame, our bone of contention, or what we're looking for in the 4 hours time frame, is to understand the swing high and the swing low and be able to identify where the supply zone is, likely as well where the demand zone is. Is that correct? Yes. Now, looking at this first point here, we can clearly see that this point is a point of consolidation. That means price was basically ranging at this point, and there's a reason why price was ranging at this point, right? This point is a ranging phase here, and there's a reason why price was ranging at this point. Now, having identified that, we want to also identify where the other demand zone are. These are first demand zone. These are another demand zone at this point here. So this point here, where price was actually ranging, is simply a demand zone, right? Now, where again do we have a demand zone? We have a demand zone at this point here. This full point is simply a demand zone. Why? Because price was ranging at this point, ranging here, and also ranging here. Now, since price got to this our key level here, support key level here, price was giving us demand zone, right? Now, having understood that, when price got to our resistance key level, price started heading to the downside, right? Which also means that there's also a supply zone at this area here. But if you can clearly look at it here, you can clearly see that price was being choppy at this point, right? That means from this whole point, from this point to this point here, price was simply being very choppy, and we cannot say this point is a point of supply or this point is a point of demand. What we're going to do now is to go to the 1 hour time frame and refine this zone that we have seen here to become point of interest, because clearly seen on the time frame, price is an uptrend. Is that correct? Yes. What I want to do now is to refine these zones to become point of interest on the 1 hour time frame, and as well identify the point of liquidity. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, we want to refine these zones to become what? Point of interest. And if we have to refine this first one here, we are simply going to refine this point to become what? Our point of interest here. This place is our first point of interest, sorry, our first demand zone have been refined. And now if I have to refine this point, we're simply going to use this point here to refine this point here as our second demand zone, and here likely our third demand zone. So basically, if I have to define these demand zones now, it's going to become this: the first one, second one, and the third one. Now, having identified this demand zone, now I want to know which one is likely going to hold and where is it going to hold from, right? Now, since price got to the resistance key level, what did price do? Price failed this demand zone, right? And when this failed demand zone occurred, right, this point becomes a supply zone. That means refining this point now, it becomes a supply zone. And how do we refine it? By simply identifying this particular point here, which is what? A supply zone, right? So this point now that failed first becomes a supply zone. That means at this point where this first one failed, we're still looking for sales, right? Now the next point is simply the second point, which is this point here, right? What did price do when price got to this point? The price induced liquidity that will make this point to hold. If yes, how did price induce the liquidity, and what are we going to do next? Now looking at this point here, you can see that price has clearly gotten to this second point of demand, and we want to understand what price have done above this point to know if this demand is going to hold or is not going to hold. But first, we want to see that price have induced liquidity above this area for us to know if this is going to hold or is not going to hold. First thing first of all, has price induced liquidity at this point? If yes, how did price induce the liquidity? Now, starting from what price did from the beginning of this trend, from the beginning of this resistance key level down, what did price do? Price kept inducing sales liquidity, giving us chances that price is going to come back to this point. This is the first point of liquidity. That means buy side liquidity, right? There's buy side liquidity here, equal highs at this point. Let me move this point to equal highs at this point here. So basically, looking at this pair right now, you can see that price has induced buy side liquidity, which price is likely going to go and seek on the long run. But where is price going to go from? If price is going to seek for that buy side liquidity, we're yet to identify because we don't know what price is doing at this zone yet. How did price move at this zone here? The price initiate equal lows, the price initiate equal highs. Yes, price initiated equal lows at this point. So chances are that price is likely going to use this point of demand to trigger this particular demand zone here for a bigger buy. So basically, an entry on GBPusd is to simply wait for price to give us a confirmation at this point. That means price will come down to this point and then give us a buy to the upside. So an entry at this point is simply this: wait for price to come down a bit for a long, at this level here. Stop loss below this key level at this point here, and possibly target this place as TP1, and possibly here as a full TP, right? But let's target this one that's very close to us here first as TP1, and basically we'll be looking for our entry for price to come back to this point here for a continuous buy. But if that changes, we want to simply understand what price is doing at this point here to see if price is going to go from this point to the upside, or price is going to have to come down a bit before price is going to the upside. So analyzing these whole points here on the 15 minutes time frame, let's just look at what price is doing. Now on the 15 minutes time frame, there's no clarity on what price is doing at this point here. But we can basically see that price needs to come down to this point for price to continue to the upside. And that will be my entry on GBPusd for price to come down a bit and then possibly look for a buy to the upside. That will be all for this video. You'll see me on the next video. Peace.